Aloha kakahiaka kākou I keia kakahiaka. Aloha moku o Kauai mano kalani po. Aloha oahu nui a lua. Aloha Maui oi kela kela. Aloha Hawaii o Kamehameha kahi kana'i aupuni. Aloha kakahiaka, welcome, good morning guys to the 25th episode of the Darkside of Hawaiian Politics, Hawaiian Kingdom News, 127 years of injustice, illegalities, illegal occupation, 60 minutes of news of 7 days, now with the weather.
Okako, here's your Saturday, May 2nd, 2019, Moko Keawe weather update for today. Out in Haunaka, you got your highs 82, lows 65, and out down Puilo Town to N.O. Kapaole Plantation, your high is 81, your lows is 64. Out in Hilo One, your highs today with a slight overcast is 84 high, 69 low. Down into Pahoa Town where your highs is 81 and your lows is 68. Down outwards to Pahala, south side, highs is 77 with a chance of overcast, light showers, and your low is 64. Out in your Captain Cook region, 78 high, 66 low, looks like no clouds. And out in Waikoloa, your high is 83, your lows is 64 with a slight overcast. And out in Kauai high, takes it at 85 high, 69 low. And that is your weather for Moko Keawe. And for your surf report cast, your east shores is 3 to 5 small, and your north is a 3 to 5 small, and your west is a tiny 1 to 3, along with your south is a picnic with a 1 to 2. And of course, your Mauna Kea weather, we have a slight overcast, but it will be sunny before 10 o'clock today. So kako, mahalo for your Moko Keawe weather report for this week, Saturday, May 2nd, 2019. DJ Derbs, Mana Olelo.
Aloha kako, guys. Our mana olelo for today, because of our situation, is Kanawai Koa. Kanawai Koa translates to martial law. So when I go into Papakilo database and I type in Kanawai Koa, 808 hits for the word pops up. And just looking at the amount of hits, almost half of those hits, guess when, guys? You got it. 1893. That's when they used Kanawai Koa the most.
Kanawai Koa.
Martial law. Because it feels like martial law. Everybody's locked down. Everybody can't go out. You get a $5,000 certificate if they catch you. So, on January 24th, 1893, the article reads, Ua maumai ke kanawai kakau ia a hiki I keia wā. Ka lua hoi o na makahiki o ka noho mo I ana o lili ua kalani, a me kala umi kuma hiku o Ianuary, umi kuma walu ka naiva kuma makolu ka makahiki, ua loli a ela ka ho'oponopono aupuni mo I ana, a I aupuni ku loko. Ua ku kalahou I ae ke Kanawai Koa. So during the time of the illegal overthrow, the illegal occupation with the United States Marines landing and pointing their guns and cannons at the Iolani Palace, martial law, Kanawai Koa, was proclaimed to keep all of the Hawaiians from gathering. Because if the Hawaiians did gather, an all-out war probably would have took place. So, you got to hand it to our mana wahine of all the wahines, Lili'u Kalani, for ensuring that we are surviving today, we are living today, we are breathing today because of this Kanawai Koa then, or else it would have been all-out war. And we guarantee would have won that first round. But, America would have been really pissed because we would have slaughtered all of those Marines. And they probably would have came back 10 times stronger. So mahalo Mo'i Lili'uo Kalani for this Kanawai Koa during that time. So that's our Mana Olelo for today. We need to do more research. We need to look at Kanawai Koa because the first one it talks about actually occurred after Kamehameha got hit with the paddles.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Kanawai Mamalahoa. So that's what this article is talking about. January 24th, 1893 in Kaleo Kalahui. So, Kako, we still need to gather. We still need to figure this thing out. 127 years of illegality, injustice. We need to fix this right away.
Mano Olelo for the week. Mahalo, DJ Derbs. So, you guys ready for this week's episode 25, Saturday, May 2nd, for Smash or Pass? DJ Derbs, without stretching, let's get to the game. First up on the chopping block, KHON 2, we got DJ Derbs.
Yours truly, the world-renowned Donald Trump president, requesting schools to consider reopening before the school year ends, Kako.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but what I do know is I want my keiki to stay safe. I don't want to risk my keiki going to school and all of the keiki going to school, possibly contracting COVID and then taking it home to the kupuna. It's just not worth it. Mm-hmm. So I gotta give Mr. Pelekikena Trump over here a big smash for requesting that schools reopen before the summer, because it's a no-brainer to me. Schools stay closed until next year so we can look at it again and maybe even stay closed for another year. Who knows? But now's the time to do the home economics, the home education, and teach your keiki right from wrong.
Yes. KP, I know you're a Kumu. What's your intake on this?
Well, for the American President Donald Trump, he's irresponsible to even think about reopening the school. Mm-hmm. It's the keiki's safety first. Mm-hmm. It's not about money. It's about safety of our future, and the future lies within our keiki, the future generations. And like I say, it's, he's totally irresponsible to even think about reopening the school. Mm-hmm. We need to actually, just look at the whole situation, and you have to look at the numbers of the COVID-19. Until the thing subsides, you shouldn't even consider or look on the possibilities of opening any schools at this time. Mm-hmm. So I give the American president a smash.
KP, this is a national crisis, and you see this cartoon character, Trump, wants to reopen certain facilities and areas too early, too soon. We have kids at home. We have kikis. We have family members that we know need education and they need their sources. But in the time being to reopen before summer, our families are not even getting their stipends or getting their checks from the close down. So I know that the pressure is deep, but to let it open right now, it shows very inconsistency, just like the Ige Fernandez shows that we are experiencing right now, because you cannot see what the right hand and the left hand is doing. Some people are leaving this place open as if it's open, and you have Donald Trump wanting to reopen our schools where we know that the virus is going to exist and have a greater gathering space to spread. So simple, just like KP said, if our kupuna says too early, then it's too early. Smash. Next up on the chopping block, DJ Derbs, is
on Civil Beat, mass tourism is the 1,200-pound gorilla in the room. The winners under our economic system risk becoming losers should we diversify so they find ways to prevent it. I just gotta, when I see this, I think about the 52,000-pound elephant in the room. And that's 127 years of injustice.
Injustice.
Because in here, one of the lines says, first thing first, we need to talk about the 1,200-pound gorilla in the room, mass tourism. You're talking about tourism. Yeah? No, this is not about tourism. This is about 127 years of ongoing illegalities, corruption, oppression, discrimination, racism on Hawaiians. When are we going to put to the forefront the responsibility, the purpose of the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act to rehabilitate because of the illegal acts? When are we going to put that first, Kako? Why is the entire mass media, state of Hawaii, wanting to ignore the 52,000-pound elephant in the room? 127 years of illegality. Because, Kako, the Hawaiian Kingdom is the best alternative to move our international economy forward. Only the Hawaiian Kingdom has the access for the international economic boom that we could access, but it seems like you guys talking about a 1,200-pound gorilla. So I just got to smash on this Civil Beat article. I got to smash on tourism because there is a way.
Yeah.
And that way is the Hawaiian Kingdom way.
The Pono way.
The Pono way. That's our economic recovery plan. Kako.
Tourism.
Well, I just got to add on DJ Derbs, okay? We need to settle and take care of old business.
Yes.
The old business is the 127 years of illegal occupation in the Hawaiian Islands. That we need to address, not tourism. Tourism is, as an after point, okay? So when they want to talk about tourism, it's like, like the occupation is dead. The Hawaiian subject does not exist. No, we do exist. And we're going to still push the issue of the illegal occupation in the Hawaiian Islands. And so, with that said, this whole article is not representing the true truth about, they're talking about the 1,200-pound gorilla in the room. We don't care about the 1,200-pound gorilla in the room.
Yes.
What we care about is the ongoing illegal occupation by the Americans in the Hawaiian Kingdom. So I got to give this Civil Beat a smash.
Yeah. Civil Beats needs a civil smash, because basically this tourism play down of the illegal injustice, it seems to have a historical impact on the colonizers when they come in and think that tourism is the issue. No. It's the concept of law that's at hand right now. The laws are being violated. There's mass influx of immigrants that are not being quarantined at the borders or even at our safe zones coming across these airports and these shipways. And without the Hawaiian Kingdom being addressed, the national heirs, the Hawaiian Kingdom heirs, it seems to be a circus out here in the Pacific Kingdom.
Yes.
And that's what we see right now is the finger pointing, which we know that it's owned by, colonizers, because that's what our news is made for, to expose the dark side of these news articles that they force feed the general public and our tourism to get them to be fearful about the true Hawaiian Kingdom heirs, when we have to continue to be the lead vocal point on bringing the spectrum to the best visual, which is the illegal injustice. Because if we just surpass the illegal injustice and we start seeing, it's the tourism, or where it's this foreign immigrants that are just allowing these things to happen, no. It's the injustice that allows the stemming of this criminal activities, what you see, the pillaging of our families during this historical pandemic timing, that the tourists are being misled by the governments who are allowing these propaganda commercials and free to low-cost flights to come down here and just to enjoy on during this pandemic. So it's not the tourism, Kako. It is your civil beat and it is your local government that is spawning this kind of disease that's running rampant because of the injustice and not telling the truth.
Yes.
And so there you have it. It's a simple smash from the crew. Next up, DJ Derbs is your star advertiser and its report on
This morning, front page star advertiser. 3 demonstrators arrested during reopening Hawaii Now rally at the state capitol. I just love this photo because finally someone other than Hawaiians are on the front page getting arrested. It seems like we've been a poster child for 127 years of this illegality, and finally an American
3 of them.
actually following the U.S. Constitution and their First Amendment rights gets arrested. So this is hilarious because he's talking about a foreign constitution. Because our treaty with the United States in 1849 talks about in 1850, that's the real treaty and Constitution of 1840 that we should be talking about. But it's hilarious to see this guy get arrested for following the United States Constitution. Just tells me how Ige has contempt for the U.S. Constitution and President Trump. And I just can't wait to follow this story because of the Attorney General Barr, who has the now discretion to search for these cases of U.S. constitutional violations within the U.S. So I just want to see what AG Barr does with this situation here. But I love this photo, Kako.
You love it? So
I love it. So I got to give him a pass. Star Advertiser gets a pass with a beautiful front page photo of not one Hawaiian getting arrested, but one foreigner in Hawaiian Kingdom territory.
KP, what is this bugger's cornerstone when he goes to court?
Well, we just got to break it down. Okay, you look at the picture, what you see right there, and an American, right? See, he's actually a foreign, an alien, because during
Aliana.
So under the rules of occupation, you cannot bring the occupier's population into the occupier state. So that's actually one violation right there. Number 2, his beef is that he's following U.S. constitutional law, and okay, you can follow that, but you're not in the United States. You're in the Hawaiian Kingdom. Okay, so if you have read last year, Dr. Desai's his memo about the U.S. occupation in the Hawaiian Islands, he states that under the laws of occupation, there's only 2 valid laws or entities that is valid in the occupied state in the Hawaiian Kingdom, and that is the Hawaiian Kingdom Constitution, all right, and the laws, and also international law. So the U.S. constitutional laws doesn't belong here. It's a foreign law. So this whole thing right here is just to take away from the big issue about the U.S. occupation in the Hawaiian Islands. This is total disregard to following actually the rules of law and international law and Hawaiian Kingdom law. So the American constitutional law doesn't belong here. So for me, my perspective, I give all of them a smash.
Smashing and passing. So these guys, Kako, you guys got to watch the film, Kako. Brought a man in the right, was reading his constitutional right. The cops look kind of stunned because they don't even read the constitutional rights.
Right.
And then they have this beautiful wife right there in the black that's begging the husband not to assert his American constitutional rights. So we had a quick live intake because she looks local, the wife. So if you watch the film just a little bit, she was urging this patriotic American husband of hers, please don't assert your American rights. And he just followed the cops around begging to get it. So to me, when we got to watch the video, the live stream, There were so many people around. If those was Hawaiians, we would be in the sardine can, kako. These guys was walking around like pesticides all over the road, multitudes of sheriffs and cops, and only 3. Oh man, I gotta smash on that. I cannot give you a pass, because if I had 200 of my family members, we'd be in the sardine can, kako.
Oh, yeah.
And when you see all of these pesticides running around screaming this antics of constitutional rights,
Right.
and only 3 out of about 150 to 200.
If the Kanaka was out doing the same thing, you would have the SWAT team, you had the National Guard, everybody out there.
You would have them all. And not only
Yeah.
like how they showed force yesterday,
Right.
they only used a few officers to extort the American Constitution.
Right.
When if it was Native Hawaiians and Native Hawaiian rights and the illegal injustice, these guys are arresting our kupuna right on the front line.
Wow.
With a simple handshake, huh?
Yeah, and look at the situation at the Mauna. Excessive force on Kupuna.
And where was this in the emergency proclamation?
Right.
Right? COVID-19 emergency proclamation. You guys allow the Constitution to run all over this Hawaiian nation, and then yet, as soon as our kupuna want to be heard or want to protect resources, you guys give them a honey and send them to the sardine can.
Right.
So I can't let them go, even though KP, the cornerstone, and cousin DJ Derbs is smashing them. I gotta give them the most ultimate evil eye perspective that I can see, which all of them should have went to the sardine can.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as it can get. Well, thank you, DJ Derbs. But now we have to turn to our South Pacific COVID-19 update in the South Pacific Kingdoms with KP for this week, May
Second.
2nd, 2019. KP.
Hello, Kako. This is KP with your C19 South Pacific update on the coronavirus. Okay, so as of today, I'll give you the stats. Starting with Aotearoa, they have 1,485 confirmed cases. American Samoa, they have 0 cases. Cook Islands, 0 cases. Guam, they have 6 additional cases. They have 146 confirmed cases. Fiji, they're actually they're steady. The total number right now for at least 3 weeks they have 18.
They found a cure.
Yeah, so that's really good. Okay, then you have the Hawaiian Kingdom. The Hawaiian Kingdom, we have now confirmed 619 confirmed cases. All right, the Kingdom of Tonga, they have 0 cases. Kiribati, 0 cases. Marshall Islands, 0 cases. Micronesia, 0 cases. Nauru, they have 0 cases. New Caledonia, for the past 5 weeks, they're at only 18 confirmed cases. Mm-hmm. So that's really good. They stabilize with the C19. When we come to Niue, we have 0 cases. Northern Marianas, they're stabilizing for almost 3 weeks at 14 confirmed cases. Real low numbers. When we come to Palau, they have 0 cases. When we come to Papua New Guinea, for the past 3 weeks, they're confirmed as only 8 cases. Okay, the Solomon Islands, they have 0 cases. Samoa, 0 cases. Tahiti, they have 1 additional case at 58 confirmed cases. Tokelau, 0 cases. Tuvalu, 0 cases. And finally, Vanuatu at 0 cases. So as you look at the South Pacific Islands, they're actually stabilizing right now. It's really good compared to the rest of the world.
So KP, one question.
Mm-hmm.
Does most of them have travel restrictions in these Pacific region?
All of them. So all of them
it's
have.
flattening out already.
Yes, but the only concern is with the Cook Islands is because they have restrictions on cargo. You know, they had the cyclone Harold I believe 2 weeks ago. So now with the restriction on the cargo that they need, the
Yeah.
supplies, it's actually trickling in because they have to first check out the cargo and also the men on board the cargo ships before they can unload the badly needed supplies. So
Essential supplies only.
oh yes, 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 yes. Due to the cyclone, yeah. So that's the only concern that they have because of the restriction that aid is just trickling in because they have strict restriction, which is really good because as you can see, the reflection of the numbers of C-19 is well below and is stabilizing in the South Pacific. In the Polynesian Triangle, the only concern is Aotearoa and the Hawaiian Kingdom with the high numbers.
Yes, high numbers of tourism and influxing air right now.
Right,
And with
because-
the lackadaisical, I guess you could say, force on the ground at the airports.
Yes, because like for Aotearoa and also the Hawaiian Kingdom, we continue to let the tourists come in freely without,
Checking
complete
out the
restriction
quarantine
and just-
restrictions.
Right. And just stopping the airlines, from actually bringing in foreigners to the Hawaiian Kingdom.
KP, thank you for your weekly update on COVID-19 in the South Pacific Kingdom, where every week you follow the tally and you try and give us the best data up to date around our South Pacific. Mahalo. And so now is our...
All right, so now I'm going to cover the news around the Polynesian Triangle. So the first article is from Radio New Zealand from Tonga. Tonga police arrest over 300 people for breaching lockdown rules.
Where was this at the capital?
Yeah,
Where was this?
So Tonga police have arrested 568 people since the state of emergency was declared on March 28 to try and counter COVID-19. 357 of those arrested has illegally breached the lockdown rules or obstruct officers.
I wonder if they was planting food or gathering medicines or whatnot, right?
Yeah. The lockdown includes a nighttime curfew. Another 77 were arrested for public drunkenness, 33 for possession of illicit drugs, 28 on domestic violence charges, and the rest for other violent crimes.
Sounds like a lot of trumped up stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, Police Commissioner Stephen Cardwell said it was a difficult time, but police needed to, enforce the instruction and comply with the directions. People need to stay home during the curfew hours, he said. Since the curfew started, police said there have been a 37% drop in reported crime compared with last year. Police are working with Tonga's military and the fire and emergency services to enforce the curfew.
Oh, man.
But, you have to follow and comply.
So what is the data with all the foreigners getting arrested? I know we read about these Tongans and all these
Right.
Hawaiians getting arrested, but what is the auto ratio? Because that's a high ratio for just the Tongans. I
Yeah.
wonder if everybody else is following the rules.
Yeah, so what I need to do is do more research and break it down from the Tongan subjects versus the foreigners.
Because we always seem to be making the data spread every turn, right? Every
Right.
nation, our Aboriginal people are making a data strip, but we don't get to see all the tourism's getting violated. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Okay, so there's another news article from Radio New Zealand. Now it's the Cook Islands. The Cook Islands police arrest suspects in the Texmart machete robbery. Cook Island police have praised the swift work by investigators and community support for the success arrest of suspects in a rare machete robbery on Rarotonga late yesterday. 4 young males are now in custody facing aggravated robbery charges for the incident, which took place at a small roadside store belonging to the Texmart retail chain. The sole care storekeeper was held up by knife point by 2 males with machetes. 2 others accomplices kept watch from the getaway bikes. The thieves made off with cash and hundreds of dollars worth of cigarettes. Police Commissioner Ma'ara Tava said information for the public led to the arrest of the suspects and the recovery of evidence, as he urged the community to remain vigilant.
Cigarettes is getting it, guys.
Oh, yes.
Everything.
Yes, yes.
All the
yes.
necessities.
All the necessities, yes. Okay, and finally, I have another news article from Radio New Zealand. Cargo restrictions hamper Vanuatu cyclone recovery. In Vanuatu's north, whole villages are still lie devastated 3 weeks after Cyclone Harold tore through on that terrifying Monday, 6 April. In some villages, every building was destroyed by the winds. Today, whole families crowd beneath whatever shelter they could build from scraps. Meanwhile, some 200 kilometers away in the capital, Port Vila, cyclone relief aid is taking days to be cleared, part of strict quarantine controls brought in to keep COVID-19 out of Vanuatu. And there you have it, the South Pacific News, May 2nd.
Thank you, KP, for the South Pacific News COVID update and our international news bi-weekly. Last up for our Smash and Pass episode for this week, we got 3 more DJ Derbs. First one up on the chopping, the last 3 before the series is wrapped. First one to get slapped is
Yours truly, turn up spicy kimchi for breakfast this morning.
Kimchi for breakfast, gang.
Kimchi wants 4 more years in a crowded candidacy for Hawaii County Mayor. To make it, I believe it's 19, 18. So Kako, when we choose our mayor coming up in this year, it definitely cannot be Kimchi. He had his run already. He had 3 terms already. He's done. We need somebody young. We need somebody fresh. We need a new economy. Don't choose someone who's been working for the government for a long time. All of these guys are going in to perpetuate the same economy, perpetuate all of their friends in high positions making a lot of money. So I just gotta smash on all kinds of kimchi. I'm gonna eat as much as I can when I get home so that he will never become the mayor ever again in Hawaii County. And we need somebody young with the vision and the kako-ness to take us out of this slump and crack that home run or that U.S. volleyball spike for that kill to get us out of this situation of COVID-19, Kako.
Cornerstone, your classmate, he wants 4 more years.
4 more years. Day 1 was too much.
They want too much.
Okay, so but anyway, from my perspective, under the occupation, international law, Hawaiian Kingdom law, he's actually part of the illegal occupation. So I don't support him in any way, shape, or form. And he just did more damage during the time of his reign in Mokuokeawe. When you look at the Mauna issue. He could have actually stopped all this nonsense of arresting Kupuna and other people up there. It's because, you know what? They're occupying our people, their own land, the heirs of their own land. These lands that they were actually on were crown lands. So you have crown lands and then you also have government lands. So it has nothing to do with the fake state or, the spicy kimchi. Yeah. So I just give him one smash.
DJ Derbs, Cornerstone. Here we have spicy senile kimchi. Wants the people to forget the catastrophe that he have brought upon our community and our kupuna. We had multiple meetings with this individual, and every time we consult with him, there has to be a rule. The mayor cannot be senile. The mayor also cannot run for more than a dinosaur years, right? Because this guy's been around for dinosaur years, right? There's got to be a cap, because when people are the ripe age of senile, like this individual, he will just sell you down the street.
You know the only place he should run to? The nearest care home.
He needs to go to the care home. Yes,
Yeah.
KP, the cornerstone. Yes, it's not out of hate.
No.
It's about concern.
Concerned about his
Because when people, our kupuna, are at a fragile age, and this guy is a dinosaur, right? He's a dinosaur. He suffered 4 multiple heart attacks, right?
Yeah.
So that should be a medical disqualification upon his resume. His resume that he has to file, because he cannot be getting heart attack every time a Hawaiian issue comes about, and then he goes and arrests us.
Yeah.
Because every time a Hawaiian issue or Hawaiian Kingdom issue comes out, this bugger eat one spicy kimchi and then he gets a heart attack.
Yeah.
And so we cannot kako. I cannot be giving this guy 80 or hundreds of thousands of dollars to resuscitate him in our Hawaiian Kingdom healthcare trust. This guy is running up a hell of a high health bill. Every year he gets a heart attack. So this guy runs up the highest health bill that we have ever seen a mayor or an independent person have, a private person. Do the numbers, Kako. Every heart problem that this guy has, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars to go ahead and maintain these issues. And so, Harry, please go home. Please go home. Take the time to reflect. Malama your mo'opuna, because by you continuing to lead our community into a dry well, that's old news. Your senile days are done. Your health is eradicating at a fast rate. We have to smash. And by smashing you, doesn't mean to beat you or harm you. We just want you to smash your pillow and smash your bed more often that you do, because your health matters and you need to go to a kupuna home, just like Kipe said. So if you guys know anything out there, go ahead and send him some love, but also tell him we need him to take his retirement, because we do not want 4 more years of spicy kimchi running down our communities and arresting our kupuna on the ala, claiming that this is the clown lands that belong to the Ige administration. It belongs to our Hawaiian Kingdom heirs. Our kupuna are the surviving heirs that will lead us to the next generation, and we cannot allow Mr. Heart Attack to get 4 more years. So please, everybody out there, if you vote, because I don't, but I need you to make sure no more spicy kimchi is on my plate. DJ Derbs. Next up on the chopping block, last 2, we got
COVID-19 relief options approved by Hawaiian Homes Commission. None other than our favorite guy out there, the slippery Aela, now approving 2 actions that will provide Department of Hawaiian Homeland's applicant waiting list, beneficiaries, as well as lessees, licensees, so that's, and permittees. That means non-Hawaiians now. Now we're talking about it's helping non-Hawaiians with one Hawaiian Homes Commission Act. The program will provide eligible beneficiaries, applicants, rental assistance, housing assistance. But Kako, when you look at the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act purpose, it specifically says the Congress of the United States policy enable Native Hawaiians to return to their lands. Forget the rent. I don't need the rent assistance. I want my land. I want the land that was promised through Congress because of the 1893 illegality. So, when you look at the centennial 2020 of the 1920 Hawaiian Homes Commission Act, this gotta be, of all the departments, the longest history of corruption, discrimination, racism on the purpose, the beneficiaries, the wait listers of any department ever created in the state of Hawaii. So I just got to give them a smash. We do not want rent. We want the land and not get violated when we plant our kalo.
Yes.
Kako. Smash.
Yes. Smash. KP, I know you waiting on death list.
Everybody waiting. So we just need to look at the Hawaiian home. 100 years now. This year marks 100 years. And how much of the Kanakas did on the death list and not on the Aina? So all this other nonsense about because of COVID-19 and paying rent and everything, it's all bogus. The priority is to get our people on the Aina and nothing else. And you know what? We should be working on getting our people
Yes.
on the Aina and not foreigners because of, big business. Like, okay, so what? You're not Kanaka, but you know what? You can make money for us, so we're going to give you a lease. So, I got to give this whole thing, this whole nonsense, one smash.
Yes, Kako. And Kini. Yes. Cousin Kini. So, Uncle Kiha was waiting on the list for 50 years, had passed away yesterday. And so, Kini, Kealoha. So, this is for you guys. DHHL has failed. Bill Imalaya, with his other lying family members, continue to offer support to non-Hawaiians in this time of pandemic. They had not made a phone call. There is nothing going out to the waitlisters. There's nothing going out to our kupuna. But let me tell you what they are doing right now. The Department of Homeless Hawaiians are giving leases out to Levi Rita and their PP Foundation out in Kauai, all these Portuguese, which is Bill Amalaya's niece and nephews, right? They get to come up Mauna Kea. They get to con everybody in the kupuna tent to tell them that trees is the main objectives, and they go ahead and use kia'is to try and force feed us that we have to let these Portuguese come in to our crown lands to harvest our kingdom pipi and to only give 20 cents out of $1 to the beneficiaries, Kako. This is what DHHL is doing right now. It's not what they're putting on this piece of paper to pump fake everybody about. They are out here working right now with non-natives up on Mauna Kea with many other corporates and crisis actors and family members, prominent family members in the community that continue to pillage our resources in this same very breath. So these are essential thieves right now working, yeah? They get to tell us of we have you in our hearts. We have you in our mind. That's what Bill Amalaya writes out to the community. They have us in our hearts and our minds, but they let all these non-beneficiaries have access. We even have this report that there is family members being extorted on Hawaiian homes / DLNR leases out in the Pane'eva region, where supposedly DHHL has put a stop to rent, a little halt, but still yet the leases that they have sitting on are being leased out to Native Hawaiians, and they still have to pay full amount during this COVID time. So Kako, keep your head up and make sure you don't eat the isla, because these guys are continuously to work during this crisis time, but they're not working on us. They're working on private profiting. They're working on non-Hawaiians, and they're making sure our resources are being stolen. So there you have it, Kako. Go ahead. If you think that they are having you on their hearts and mind, please email Isla a love letter and show us what kind of assistance, or if anybody got assistance from DHHL. I want to know how much waitlisters got assistance for this month or any month. We want to see, or we want to hear the Department of Homeless Hawaiians results, since they just are collecting cash and staying home and getting their private contracts filled.
10 years free rent for Home Depot, ridiculous.
Yes.
Asking 90-year-olds to take out a $400,000 loan, that is just unconscionable.
Right.
These guys gotta go. DHHL, we give you a big smash until you can put our Kanakas on the land.
We
You'll
don't want to
always
hear.
get smashed.
We don't want to hear no loans. We don't want to hear no fraud. We want to hear sorry, reparations, and you better put your hand on the Bible. Bill, I'm a liar, because this is the time to be pono. So all you fanboys out there of the department that are watching, please whisper in your sweet Tweety Bird's ear and tell them that we need to get on the Idaho Pula Pula. Last up on the chopping block.
Well, we gotta shine the gas light on the bright light.
There you go.
Oh yeah, yes.
Here comes the gas light on the bright light for something positive. Because DHHL has failed for 100 years, because the state of Hawaii continues to fail every single week, because of the politicians that they are bounded to through corruption, bribes, and all of that funny business, pay-to-play kind of stuff, one of the bright lights this week happened in Hamakua, Maui.
Yes.
What we've been saying for a while now is that when the sugarcane companies go down, that's when it's time for the Ohanas to return. Because the sugarcane lands did not properly take our Land Commission Awards, royal patents, that was codified in the Bureau of Conveyance during the Hawaiian Kingdom. So, mahalo to Nawahine out in Haiku, Maui,
Yes.
for showing us a great example that we can all follow, hopefully, as we see the videos start to come out, for all Ohanas to just follow their lead and look for your plots and just go on the land because of the failure of all of these state of Hawaii DHHL programs, Kako. So I gotta give them a big pass. Mahalo, Maui, East Maui, for you guys' leadership and showing us the way to go back home.
Yes, KP, Cornerstone, Sugarland season is over.
Oh yes, it's well over, because we need to understand. Okay, so we had sugar in Kohala, we had sugar Hamakua, we had sugar Puna, we had sugar Kau. A lot of those lands was leased to the sugarcane company.
Yes,
They never
KP.
ever had ownership
Yes,
on these lands. So now is the time to go back to your ancestral lands. Look, the first step you need to do is do your genealogy. Find your kupuna. Find where they lived on the land. Find the roll patterns, and go on the land. Because that deeds that right there is the ultimate deed. Anything is not, it's less. And you got to understand there's a broken title.
yeah,
Because how can these so-called sugar barons can now go bankrupt and start selling lands that they don't even own?
yes.
So you need to do your research, Kanakas. Go out there, do your research, do your genealogy, and reclaim your lands.
Yes, KP. Always the cornerstone of your foundation lays within your moku auhau.
Yes.
And so the sugarcane lands shall immediately assume the status of homestead when it's done. And within the homestead, your kuleana parcels, like KP was describing, these kuleana parcels were overlooked, were disregarded. Some of them even burnt down, because after the sugarcanes, these small factories, they were burning their little stations down with their paperworks.
Yes.
So these paperworks is still around, Kako, but it's up to you guys to continue this journey to Pule and talk to your kupuna, because your kupuna is the key. Is I can't state it more importantly, is the key for you to get that head start to where you need to be. Because if you look more deeper within the context of KP and how he was describing, you read more, you find out that within these kuleana, the Ohanas were leasing to use of the property.
Yes.
And so by the use of the properties, a lot of our kupunas have passed, but those documents still exist. And those sugarcane companies know. That's why Reverend Shipment, Reverend Clark, Reverend Alexander, Reverend Baldwin, when they were done with it, they were trying to lease it and give it to other businesses so that you could plant these trees and occupy it just long enough to our kupuna pass.
Right, exactly.
Because the plan was not to just blatantly own it. They put trees, they put plants on it because they know that the plants will survive longer than our kupuna. And what is the odds of their mo'opuna picking it up?
Yeah.
After all of this genocide, getting beaten for speaking Olelo, the mass amount of death that occurred, basically it played into their favor for a while, where our documents were lost. Nobody was or had the time to research. But now, thanks to, we have some manawahine and we have some kanes all over Ko Hawaii Aina that are pressing these issues that I believe is very substantial to holding the occupying government accountable.
Oh, yeah.
Because by intervening on this parcel, I know it's a surf place where a lot of famous surfers go and whatnot, but the underlining is it's a billion-dollar industry that continues to reoccur on our mokus that spend millions of dollars, but they cannot buy lumber, they cannot help clean the land, they cannot even recognize the real land tenures or Hawaiian Kingdom heirs when they see them.
Right.
They actually violate them. So what we're seeing with the manawahine on this is like a part 2 of what happened a year ago when they tried to, I guess, communicate with the World Series of Surfing, and they wasn't really met with a conversation. They were met with, "This is my boss's land. Please get off."
Right.
And so persistence and going back home with the air, this shouldn't be an issue with all the surfers. I believe the surfers and the surfing community shall embrace these things, because I remember in Pipe when Billabong and all of these surf corporations were trying to claim ownership of it, right?
Yeah.
So this would be a perfect issue to revisit and to not only remind them, is to assert real heirs so they can do real contracts,
Right.
and not have to get extorted by Mr. David Dung Beetle Ige and the Ige Shit Show Fernandez, because the Dung Beetle will continue to push this pile of dung all over the place. But if you come to the right source, you come to the Hawaiian Kingdom heirs and the right lineal descendants, access will be granted with the point that malama aina take place and aloha ike kahi takes place.
Right.
And it's a simple concept. We're not here to make the world difficult. All the money that is getting paid into the tourist industry that never receives or never trickles down to these rural communities is a real issue. And by family members stepping up to their kuleana and addressing it, I have to give this a pass. Because without this kind of efforts to assert our national identity and our national claims over our national lands and our national treasures, we will not be able to withstand the corporate bombarage that is continuing to come down. Airplanes, activities, Hawaii Five-0, you name it. Everything is coming through the Hawaiian Kingdom heirs, kuleana parcels, land commission awards, and royal patents. Right. So I believe it should be pono to go through the heirs. And for the girls and the family members and all the ohana who are not on the video that I know are a part of it, mahalo. This pass is for you. You guys encourage a lot of people to read, a lot of people to research, and to stimulate their thoughts in these time of pandemics.
Right.
Just like how OHA was posting out the kuleana tax reform, this is the same concept, but with a little twist. You go out there and you do the work. So thank you once again, Maui Nui Akama. All the sugarcane lands are insufficient.
Right.
And now,
Not only the sugarcane land now, Maui, pineapple.
yes, all of our crown lands.
And do not stop Only on Maui. Kauai too.
Kauai, Maui.
Yes.
Yes, all of those sugarcane, pineapple fields.
Yeah.
Go home, Kanaka,
Yeah.
because this is what it's all about, is to get home to your access point so you can self-sustain, you can quarantine your family to the best of your knowledge on your moku. So that's it for your smash or pass for this week, Saturday, May 2nd, 2019, Darkside of Hawaiian Politics, Hawaiian Kingdom News. And before we wrap it up, our last two segments is yours truly, the Constitutional Oath Breakers of the Week, where we give out this wonderful award to spotlight the gaslight, right? To turn on the gaslight on these constitutional oath breakers. And the David Dung Beetle administration has been on a historical streak. But this week, KP, do we have a new contender for the constitutional oath breaker?
Well, I have a new person,
There you go.
and his name is Spicy Kimchi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he shouldn't run for re-election. You know what? Like I say, he should run to the nearest, care home.
The care home, KP.
As for his own safety and his, because he makes bad decisions. Look at what the situation was up at the Mauna. He never did do any good decision.
Yes.
And, it's time for him to just take, the back seat and go to the nearest care home.
The nearest care home, KP, giving it out to Kimchi this week. DJ Derbs.
Mine
Constitutional
gotta
oath
go to Kirky Kooky Madwell for sicking the police on United States constitutionally following Americans. So we need the Attorney General of the United States to come down to Hawaii, take a look at this case right here. Because when you see only 3 people getting arrested out of the hundreds, and you see them take out 38 kupuna on Hawaiian homelands,
With what handshake?
with a handshake. You just gotta compare the two. So that's why my constitutional oath breaker this week has to be Mayor Cookie Cracky Madwell for sicking the police on United States Americans, good old United States Americans, protesting during proclamation pandemic. You guys is brave, man.
See, so one, we got Moku Okeave. We have to get Harry Spicy Kimchi to the nearest elderly home, but they're not taking no applicants right now because COVID-19. So he has to go in quarantine out in his plantation home out in Mountain View. And then we have DJ Derbs with the KKK Cookie Kook Clown Weld and his Constitutional Oathbreaker Award. And I'm split. I'm split between Oahu and I'm split between Moko Keave, but my na'au tells me that I gotta go with the cornerstone. We gotta give this to Mr. Harry Spicy Kimchi. He has continuously been sipping on that senile drink, and he just seems to further distort any good things that our community can get. So, Kako, this week I have to go with Harry Spicy Kimchi, for he cannot get no 4 more years extension. We do not have Aflac for this kind of ailment he has. So we just got to drop this guy off at the chicken coop and hopefully he survives the next winter. So there you guys have it, your constitutional oath breaker of the week. And last but not least, Makahana Ka'ike, where we shed a little light on the must-do for the week during this COVID and even after the COVID, where your important things that we want to share that must do. KP, Makahana Ka'ike this week.
The first thing you need to do, like we always say, do your genealogy. Know where you come from, know who your kupuna were, and go back to that aina that you belong on. So do your homework.
Yes. DJ Derbs, Makahana Ka'ike.
Mo'oku auhau. Kanawai koa. Aloha aina. You need to do your genealogy so you can find your way back home on sugarcane lands. It's free and open. You also need to love the land by planting kalo, planting fruits, planting vegetables, planting food, because the economy is changing, and it's going to change forever for our future. And you also need to understand kanawai koa, martial law. What's the difference between martial law now, martial law in 1893, and martial law during World War II? Why is it the Hawaiians keep losing their land? Hawaiians keep losing public freedom, rights, communication, gathering. Why is it always the Hawaiians losing in Hawaii? It's time for us to win again. It's time for us to move forward together. So, helu oko, imi no i kako, do some research and read kako, because we need to come out of this smelling like roses.
Smelling like roses, Kia. Makahana ka iki this week, kako. I gotta support what the family is saying. Moku au hao. There's nothing more important. You out there telling me you don't got time in the day right now in COVID to open up that book after you make the kids breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Open up your genealogy. Take the time. Respect your kupuna, because they will honor you as you honor them. So, this is for your Saturday, May 2nd, 2019, Makahana ka ike. From the ohana out here to yours, do your moku au hao, continue to pule, manage your mala, and call on your kupuna that are still alive and your family members. Check on them. Need food, need water. Continue to be in their life, to be pono, and to be that stimulation in this time. KP, any alohas out there for your rapid aloha?
All right. So we want to mahalo our sponsor, Kanaka Kava. Today they're going to be in Hilo, right across the Walmart service station in the Prince Kohio shopping center. So they're going to be right next to Baita Ai. So go and check them out. Check them out. They're going to be there from 10:30 a.m. Today. So go and check out Kanaka Kava.
DJ Derbs.
I gotta give some M20 gun rapid aloha out to Ikaika Marzo and all of the community activities he's doing out there. Of any candidate out there, you know, he puts on how to make your own hand sanitizer video. He puts on videos giving food to the community
Keikis.
out in Miloli'i. And I think this last one, you know, just sharing and celebrating May Day. So, Auntie Cookie out there, I know you said it. You got to commit some treason. Commit that treason and go and vote for Ikaika Marzo for mayor, because he is in the community. No other candidate for mayor is in every crook and cranny on this island supporting the people from the ground up, the bottom up. Don't listen to Stacey Higa, because that's all money. That's all money. No show, no go, no hana hana. If no hana hana, no voti voti.
Yes. And so this rapid aloha, you know, we like to give aloha to all the family members who have lost loved ones during this occupation on a DHHL wait list. Ke aloha kini. Sorry for your loss. And all the ohana who have lost loved ones who've been waiting 50, 60 years on death row. I wouldn't want to say waiting. They were held hostage. Yes. But this, we mahalo all you guys who consistently, our homestead associations who consistently fight for our kupuna. These are just some of the things that we have to give back to, but we mahalo all the advocates and all the loved ones that we have lost along the way. And this is to our Uncle Kiha, who have just passed away yesterday. We love you, and this rapid aloha is for you and the ohana that we have lost but never forgotten. KP, good?
Everything is good.
So mahalo, Darkside of Hawaiian Politics, Hawaiian Kingdom News, Cornerstone.
DJ Derbs in the house.
Ahui ho.
Uyo kaka.
Aloha aina.
Aloha.
Found him. Oh.